She was probably in the bathroom freshening up. She probably hadn't overheard anything. We'd find her, collect her, and decide how we'd proceed from there. And if that wasn't the case, survive in hell would trump harboring resentment towards us, at least for now. Max was a reasonably rational woman, and she was just as devoted to finding and saving Wade as the rest of us were. I unclenched my hands, trying to shed some of the tension coursing through me. All this angst, it needed to go. I couldn't see straight when it came to Max, and lingering on that shit wasn't doing any of us any good. Atlas nodded and stormed out of the room, and I knew that his silence was partially due to his wolf. He always struggled with using his words, but it became damn near impossible when his wolf was this close to the surface. Usually their battle was a silent one, happening behind the curtains, but in moments like this, I'd get a peek of the turmoil behind his eyes. Deep down, I knew he was dealing with the sort of war neither of us was confident he could win. It was enough to draw chills every time I thought about it. Another thing I didn't have time to worry about right now. The universe really needed to stop raining shit down on my to-do list. Type A or not, I could only take on so much. I pushed into the hallway, trying to swallow my disgust at the state of the place. We'd crashed a Wendigo's pad, and the creature and her roommates hadn't exactly kept a clean home. There was trash all over the place, and what looked suspiciously like random sets of bones, likely from discarded meals. I didn't look at them long enough to discern whether those bones belonged to a humanoid creature or an animal. I shivered at the thought of what could have happened to Max and Eli if Darius hadn't been around to take the twat waffle out. And then I shivered again at that realization. Feeling gratitude for a vampire was about as far from my comfort zone as I could get. I shook my head. Now wasn't the time to dissect exactly how that fanghole had started slowly creeping his way under my skin, like an unwanted infection. I hated him still, that much was certain, but I didn't want to spit fire every time I saw him anymore. He'd been useful, even if infuriating. I pushed the complexities and discomfort down, locking them in a box I'd deal with later. Eventually. Maybe. I wandered around for a few minutes, busting slowly into every room I passed. We'd swept through the place before we'd left Max and Eli to go foraging for some supplies and food, so I wasn't expecting anything to jump out at me, but I probably couldn't be too safe. We were in hell after all. And speaking of hell, where the hell were the bathrooms in this place?